All right, let's talk about something I think we all deal with, that constant, noisy chatter in our heads, that overthinking mind. In this explainer, we're going to dive into some incredible insights from the philosopher and investor Naval Ravikant on how we can maybe quiet that noise and find a little more presence. So let's get into it. You know that feeling, right? Where your mind just will not switch off. It's either replaying something from the past or spinning out about the future. It honestly feels like you're a prisoner in your own head, and man, is it exhausting. But what if there's actually a way to find the key and walk out? And this quote right here, this just changes the whole game. Naval doesn't just see anxiety as something that makes us miserable, he sees it as this massive leak in our potential. Just think about it. All that energy you spend worrying, what if you could redirect it into focus, or creativity, or just being effective at what you do? That's the real prize here. So let's start by just looking at the problem. Anxiety has kind of become the background music of our modern lives, hasn't it? Especially for people who are driven and ambitious. That same little voice that makes you double-check your work is also the one that's screaming at you at 3 a.m. Okay, but to solve this, we've got to understand it first. And Naval makes this absolutely crucial distinction between two words we throw around all the time: stress and anxiety. They feel similar, but they are not the same thing. And knowing the difference, that's step one. Naval has this brilliant analogy. He says to think of an iron beam. Now, imagine trying to bend it in two different directions at the exact same time. That tension, that's stress. It's your mind wanting two opposite things. Like, you want to get in shape, but you also really want to eat that pizza. Or you want to quit your job, but you also want a steady paycheck. That conflict is stress. And here's the key difference. Stress, you can usually point to the cause. You can say, I am stressed because of this and that. Anxiety, well, that's what happens when all that stress just becomes a fog. It's this general humming unease where you can't even tell what's causing it anymore. It's just there. Think of it like this. The anxiety you feel every day, that's just the tip of the iceberg, the little part you can see above the water. But underneath the surface, there's this enormous, hidden mass of all the little unresolved stresses and conflicts that have been piling up for years. The real work is learning how to look beneath the water.
So how in the world do you deal with a giant iceberg of worry? Well, Naval suggests a tool that is so simple and yet so powerful. It's a fundamental shift in perspective that just cuts through all the noise.
So before I tell you, just take a second. What do you think it is? What could possibly be strong enough to just dissolve that deep, foggy feeling of anxiety? Is it therapy? Meditation? Those things are great for sure. But Naval points to something even more fundamental. Okay, I know it sounds incredibly morbid, but just hang with me for a second. This is not about being negative. It's about getting radically clear. The fact that we have a limited time here is the one great truth that puts all our tiny day-to-day problems into their proper place. I mean, when you really let this sink in, that everything you're worried about, everything you're building, everything you're stressing over will eventually go to zero, it's actually incredibly freeing. That embarrassing thing you said at a party last year, the deadline you're freaking out about, when you hold it up against the backdrop of your whole life, it just shrinks. So if we accept that our lives are finite, it naturally leads to this next big question. What does it actually mean to waste our time? Because if every moment is precious, we have to totally redefine what productivity even is. And this, right here, completely redefines the whole idea of a productive life. It's not about how many tasks you check off a list. According to Naval, any moment that your mind is somewhere else is a moment wasted. If you're physically on vacation but you're mentally back at the office worrying about emails, you are wasting your vacation. The real goal isn't productivity, it's presence. And our minds are masters at escaping the present. They basically have three main escape routes. We get yanked backwards into regret over stuff we can't change. We get shot forward into fear about stuff that hasn't even happened. Or we just resist what's happening right now, wishing things were different. All three are just different ways of wasting the only thing we actually have, this very moment. Naval puts it so bluntly, it's kind of shocking. You might as well be dead to that moment because you're not there. You're not actually experiencing it. You're living inside a mental simulation. And that's a really poor substitute for reality. Those lost moments, that's the real price we pay. Okay, so we have this new perspective on life and time. Great. But how do we actually apply it day to day? This last section is about a really practical tool for navigating life with this clarity.
learning to trust your own inner compass.
It's the age-old dilemma, right? For the big stuff, the really important choices, do you follow the cold, hard logic of your brain? Or do you listen to that deep, intuitive feeling in your gut? A lot of us get stuck right here, completely paralyzed. But Naval gives us a simple way to think about it. It's all about using the right tool for the right job. Your rational mind, your head, is amazing for solving external problems. Think math problems, business strategies, fixing your car. But for the hard, personal decisions, who to marry, where to live, what career is right for you, your gut is the much better tool. See, your gut isn't just some random feeling. It's this highly refined judgment that you've built up over a lifetime of experiences. As Naval points out, especially with relationships, we often know deep down when something isn't right. But our minds, our wishful thinking, can talk us out of it. Learning to trust that inner voice is how you avoid wasting years of your life. And ultimately, it all comes down to this. Life is just a stream of sensory data coming at you. Your interpretation of that data is what creates your reality. Two people can go through the exact same event, and one experiences joy, while the other experiences sadness. The only thing that's different is their internal filter. You can't always control what happens, but you can always choose how you see. And that really brings us to the final question to leave you with. Your life isn't one big thing that happens later. It's just a series of moments, one after the other, and the quality of your life is nothing more than the quality of those moments. So, with your mind always being pulled away, how many of them are you actually showing up for? Thanks for tuning in.